Alright, so yeah. Hello everyone. Uh, you might know me as Watch Me. And here is a tier list I'm gonna make on Town of Salem, Foreign Mafia, hosts and mods. Now this tier list is purely subjective, and I'll be only including hosts from time I started getting back into Foreign Mafia, which is around May 2019. Now the criteria I have, or even being like chosen to be on the tier list is to have hosted at least one game, and I must remember it as well, because otherwise I won't to remember what game they hosted. Otherwise, I can't exactly like judge, even subjectively, what how good that they are as a host. So before we even start ranking these hosts, I'm gonna have to talk about what I'm gonna be ranking them off. So the first things first is the actual game setup and mechanics that they do and they have. So, this includes the number of players. So like if they have 20 players, 15 players, or it's just a cop 9. The number of people in each faction. So like if it's a cop 9er, it's like 7 to 2, or for some reason it's like 6 to 3 for whatever reason. And the role integration, such as like how certain roles interact with each other, what PRs there are, how many vanilla sits, how many goons, how many what sort of creativity does the games that the host have, like in terms of like role madness? Like does it have role madness? Is it mountainous or something like that? Next I'm gonna be judging their flavor but in a decorative aspect. How do they shape the game? Like does the flavor of the game help like build up the world of the mafia game basically? Like how much effort they put behind it. Does the game itself, to play it, require flavor knowledge? Does it give you an edge? Does it give you an advantage? Yes or no? And lastly, the role cards themselves, how they're designed and with their flavor. So, an example would be something like how a sheriff in like I don't know some flavor world of like I don't know like My Little Pony is like some sort of like some other pony. I don't know. I'm just making that example up because there was some My Little Pony forum games that I've seen but haven't played in. Now we talk about the flavor mechanics. Like certain factions, do they only require two players for the flavor to work? Due to the flavor, can you only play the game in a certain way? Like, can you only fake claim citizen or PR, or can you not fake claim a power roll at all? The role cards in terms of like what flavor suits the said card to fit in a mechanical perspective. Next is general hostings. Like, how many VCs do they make? Do they make too many vote counts or not enough? Are the vote counts correct or are they incorrect for the most part? Are the start of time and end of day timers on time or are they delayed? Or, in worst case, cut back for unknown reasons? Do they check their prod timers or do they not? Do they have a lot of replacements in their games? This is a critical factor. If they have a lot of replacements, there's a high chance that the game itself is not very engaging. And last but not least, if there's a mod error on their side, how do they handle it? And I'll tell you, for me at least, it's a solid 0. Then the final judgment factor is the overall general experience. Is it fun to play in their games? Is it worth to sign up? Will I instantly sign up or not? Are they very chill hosts or not? Are they very Nazi like, if that makes sense? Alright, so let's get started. First off, we have Elusive Bell. Now, the only game I've seen them host is, let me see, the Shia LaBeouf SFM. If I check up, was the one of the most recent ones. I think it was like SFM 78. Was it 70? No, it was 79. SFM 79, where it was a Shia LaBeouf themed SFM. Now, the overall theme was very nice. Like it was a change of pace from your usual anime aesthetic. I don't know, that sort of like flavor, right? And it was more on like the realist side of things, but it was also very meme like. Now, the setup was actually not too bad. Actually, aside from that one, what was that? That one role. It was like some. Can't remember the name. It was like when they're killed, you lose a day. That role was just horrible, in my opinion. Although it's like they also had a shit ton of replacements in the game. One player got lynched because of it, and because of that, their game was a little lopsided. However, they were as a host not too bad in terms of like vote counts, end of day timers and stuff. Overall, like their experience wasn't that bad, although I feel like it was a bit lopsided just because of inactivity. I mean, it was at they did host the game at the wrong time, I guess, in terms of like how people were starting to like leave, so to speak, like not play the game as much. So I'm gonna put it at a solid B or C tier, maybe high C, low B. Sorry if I'm being a rough with this, but yeah. Next we have TrueGen, one of the official mods of ToSFM. Now Gen has only hosted one game from when I've returned, and that game was the episode 19, which I won. Haha, yay! I actually got carried in that, so I don't really count as a win. But a win's a win. And as far as I could tell, they hosted everything fine. They were lacking on the vote count of things. Their game was a very stock standard 19 player game, 13v4v2. Uh, like the shape, there was no flavor in it, so can't really judge them on that. General host of things that were pretty fine. They're just a solid host. Like they don't have anything going for them that makes them like stand out in a way, if that makes sense. But they have like they do their job basically, is what I'm saying. So if they do their job, it's a B for me. Probably, I'll put it right here. Next we have who's next? Jackson Virgo. Now they've hosted a couple of games. The only one which they've been the main host of is, let me see, SFM 74 Shadowhunters. Now that game was, whew, it was very, very, very scum-sided. A multi-ball game where the Mafia had an infinite shot strongman while having a Mafia transporter, which is basically a glorified strongman. Yeah, that game was pretty harsh. Flavor wise was actually pretty good. The idea of having you have I don't know. It's just the flavor of Shadowhunters was pretty well integrated actually with their roles. The fate claims was alright. Host side of things, they were a bit lackluster on the in terms of like starting on time. There was a time when it was delayed by a whole 24 hours, and the official overseer chemist had to actually come in and take over, which brings it down a few points. The other game which they've hosted or have been a host of was XS14, which is the Spooky Lovers standard, which was where he was a co-host of. Can't really judge him too much for it because I don't remember too much from it. But there wasn't. All I saw him do was a few vote counts, so can't really give him a judgment for that. Unfortunately, Jackson, while you are an Aussie, I have to put you as C, mainly because the game balance was just god awful. In terms of like, uh, the balance was just not great. Your games are alright. Like it is Roll Madness after all. The games you have hosted, but you need to be a bit more on time with those timers in terms of end of day, start of day, prods, etc. Alright, next we have Vina, aka Maxwell. Now they've only hosted one game from when I've been here, and it's the NFFM, which I can't really judge much of it. The game ended by night one. Like, there's not enough information for me to go off from. Like, there was only one game. I'm sure he did his job, but there wasn't much else to say. Huh. Next we have myself. Now I've hosted two games. The two games I've hosted is a waifu you pick and an all any. The first one, which was a waifu you pick, had a shit ton of mechanics. I feel like a bit too much per se. The flavoring in terms of like integrating the waifus with the role wasn't too bad in my books. There wasn't really much change to be say. Oh yeah, Gent did oversee it. So once again, thanks for helping with that. I had a couple of replacements in there. End of the day, Saturday timers, I feel like was on time. I feel like I had a bit too many vote counts at the start. Uh, I feel like it's fun to play in. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's just roll madness. Yeah. I'd put, but unfortunately in the all any game, I did handle my mod errors pretty poorly. Like, yeah. Let's just say it was a disaster. I put myself maybe same level as Jackson, maybe a bit higher, maybe low B. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just gonna put myself high C for now. All right. Next, we have Swordsworth. He only is also hosted one game and is currently opening signups for another. The one game he hosted was a Bionicle themed, I believe. Let me see. SFM 73, Bionicle, yes. The flavor in it was actually pretty insane. Like, how the role cards are created around the flavor of it. Now, what I mean by that is the mechanic was you could choose what role you could out of the two. You were given a role card, and you could choose between offensive or defensive of a role card, which is really creative, I have to say. 15 player setup of 11v3v1, where the one was basically kind of like a trader in a way. Swordsworth as a host was perfectly fine. He had the only issue I had was how the day timers and night timers were 96 hours and 48 hours. I lost a lot of motivation to play because of it, but the overall flavoring of it and all was pretty notch. I'd say above Gent. I can't really, okay, like maybe a low A, high B because of that game. I can't say much else. Maybe the next game he's hosting is better, and maybe I could bump him up to a high A. But for now, he's in an A, slightly at the low end, however. Next, we have Michael G. Rook. Now, they've hosted. How many games have they hosted? Was it only one game? Was it the one only game that they've hosted was the deleted game? Jesus Christ. I'm trying to double check. Okay, so it is the only game they have hosted is the deleted game. Oh my lord. Well, this one's going to be hard. Well, the game was a 20-player game. Off the top of my head, it was a standard and it had a lot of. It was very mafia sided because of the amount of mafias. And the silencer as a role was integrated pretty poorly. Let's just say that the silencer mechanic that they chose to use was absolutely busted and it ruined the game. But because of that, and it was just not fun. I'm sorry, Michael. You're at a solid D. Next, we have the Wabbit, who unfortunately has been on hiatus for quite a while now. Please come back. In my opinion, they are one of the better hosts because of how much flavor they have in their games, how they integrate it, the mechanics, and how much madness they have, which I like. So let me double check. The games they have is the games that they have hosted include Skullgirls, Kakaguri, XX8, which is Kingdom Hearts. Was there another one? I think those are the three. Oh, he also co-hosted in 18E, which was that game is deleted again. It was which one was it? It was a Predator FM. Yeah, it was Fear of the Predator. Yeah, but he was a co-host, so I'm not gonna judge much of it. But however, the other games I saw, Kakaguri FM was SFM was the one of the best SFMs of the year in terms of how much flavor it had. It had a gambling aspect, which means it could be really lopsided, which was nice. The Skullgirls was had a hidden win con, which was even more hilarious. They also are very meme like with their players. Like in terms of like he in the XS8 game he did create a meme based off like the first few pages, which is very nice. Not many hosts go to that lengths. Most hosts act as vote count bots or basically a bot to help facilitate the game rather than like trying to add more fun to it. The flavor of the roll cards was one of the best. I'm just gonna put this here in easy S tier. maybe even one of the best. Like, yeah, I might sound like a rabbit sim, but yeah, that's how it is. Next we have Phonix with an I and a zero for some reason. Anyways, this player, what did he host? He hosted SFM 64, which was the town of grouping, which was a 24-player 18-6 game. God, I can't believe that one actually worked. They also, what else did they host? They hosted a couple of VFMs, Vanilla Mafias, which I wasn't part of because I didn't have time. What else was there? Like he doesn't do much flavor for his games, so can't judge him on that aspect. Oh yeah, that's right. There was the Hydra game, the 19C Hydra game. Yeah, the vote counts were disaster. Let's just put it that way. I didn't like it personally. It was horrible. But yeah, I don't know. Like their games are pretty chill to be in. Like a solid B, I guess. Maybe better than Elusives because he has more games under the belt, more experience, I guess. Right. Now we have Hey There Girl, 17. Is it 17? Yeah, Hey There Girl 17. I'm just gonna do HTG. HTG did host one game over the course of my career, I should say in quotation marks. They did host other games, but I'm not gonna be judging off them because I haven't played in them. And my opinion would be invalid. Let's see. It was a Ruby FM. RWBY. Now the flavor it's essentially a standard game essentially with a extra passive of in terms of skills added to it. It was a roll madness. There was a lot of there was a lot of rolls essentially. Let's just put it that way. It was a town win. This was the one game where it was like, damn, a town. It was very fun to play in. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, based off that one game, the flavor was nice. The mechanics of it was great. I feel like there was too much going on. It slightly overcomplicated it. Maybe because I'm a bit of a simpleton. The games was definitely fun to play in at the time. Uh, Off the top of my head, they were very on time with their vote counts and timers, but I would put it here. Maybe B as well. Like nothing like that. Maybe low A because of the flavor of the game. Like they've done everything as a host well, and the game that they have hosted is fun and it was fun to play. And they had only a few replacements. How many? Two replacements, which is actually on the low end compared to most other games. Alright, next we have Chuck Trophy? Chuck Trophy? Is that how you pronounce it? Well, who cares? Anyways, let's see. The one game you hosted was 18D. Oh my god, that is a long time ago. I'm just gonna put this here. It was only one game. There was not enough to go from. The setup was very lopsided towards the scum because it's a 12v4v4 multi-ball where the town have basically no power rolls, so they couldn't do much. Whereas the Coven and Mafia together have 8. Yeah. Next we have Edgy Nami. Edgy. She has hosted only one game, I think. It was a VFM. The flavor of it was a cat flavored. It was a Donna. Oh yeah, it was Donna Party. That's right. Yeah, VFM 64 Donna Party. It's a very cute game in terms of like the flavor, right? The flavor of it was literally cats, battling it out. Like you're a cat if you're a town, you're a fruit if you're a mafia, and then you're like the vet or something. I think if you're the serial killer. It was a general setup. I think it was of Mafia Scum. I feel like on the plus side of things, like they were like they were a great host in terms like they were very joking like with their players. She did have a lot of shit posts. The game itself was pretty fun to play in, although of the one game. A solid high B, low A, one of the two. Let's just put it up to an A. Actually, all these A tier players hosts are both in the low end. We'll just put it up here for bias because the game was fun and it is cats. Who doesn't like cats? Even though she's a dog person, god damn it. Anyways, what else is? Who's next? Alright. Oh, Zora. Yes, the one with the accursed closed multi-ball. I have nothing more to say. Alright, Evan, man. Alright, he only has played. Oh, he's only hosted one game. From what I've seen, he has hosted many others, but from the one game he's hosted, which was CFM 19, which was a game based on the flavor of, what was it? The flavor of the people of the players of ToSFM, which is actually pretty neat. It was another roll madness. There were a shit ton of power rolls. It was a 33 player game, and like, come on, that shit would be a nightmare to host. Uh, I don't exactly have much information either. I'm off that one game. It was a long time ago, so I can't really remember much. Next, who do we have here? Aragon. He has hosted a couple games. He's hosted a U-Pick, Paranoia FM. What else has he hosted? I'm pretty sure he's hosted more. Oh, it's just the two, actually. Damn. Okay. Well, he did the integration of flavor with the Paranoia FM was pretty good, actually. Like, not gonna lie. Although I do hate mountain setups, I actually think he's up here because of he does everything as a host, right? On time. The games are fun to play in. Flavor was integrated well, but it's not up there with Wabbit in terms of like how the host interacts with the players. Like, you need a bit more than just that. I feel, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's just this is also partially my bias here as well. Next we have Manatee Dude. Alright, which game did he host? He hosted one VFM. I'm pretty sure he's hosted Pokemon FM before, but off that one game, he was unable to even meet his own deadlines, man. Like, he just disappeared after like the fourth day, from what I remember, and had to have chemists sub in for him. I'm sorry, man. Gotta be one time than that. Next we have K-Menx. K-Menx? K-Menx. Alright. He's only hosted one game. The one game being 19F, which is a 20 player 14v6 game where the 6 is actually 1 trader, 5 mafia, or the trader is basically a neutral evil. That game was more on the power roll side of a standard. Unfortunately, half the game is deleted because of cow, I believe. So yeah. I'm gonna put Chemex at a solid B because he did his job well. Like, maybe there. Like, he didn't do anything wrong. Or actually, higher than Phoenix. Phoenix should be lower because of that one stupid game where he first did vote counts in. But Chemex did his job. He handled the deletion well. Like what he had to do. Yeah, the game setup was pretty fun actually as a standard. Like, some of the role nerfs and buffs was actually pretty neat. Oh my god, this has been going on for way too long. Holy shit, it's already 23 minutes. Alright. Next we have Chemist. Now, this one's an interesting one. They have hosted a lot of games from what I can see. She has hosted a lot of VFMs, mainly VFMs actually. She has also overseen some wait, she was a co-host in the UPick. Alright, okay. Anyways, from what I could remember, she did her job as a host well. She is a little bit on the Nazi side of things when it comes to Twilight posting. So yeah, there was a time when someone got mod killed in one of her games because of Twilight posting. Like, yeah. I mean, it is the rules, but like, yeah. Maybe it's because it's not in me to be that kind of person. But they do their job as a host. The flavor of the games. Actually, she doesn't have much flavor in her games, except for the UPick doesn't even count. I'm not counting the April Fool's one either. What is it? Oh, the VFMs. That's right. Oh, she hosted two back-to-back VFMs. Oh, there was. Oh yeah, there was one game which got deleted. Which got deleted. Was it? Oh, the Ori in the Blind Forest one. Oh, that's the one. I'd say solid B, high B. She does her job. Can't say much else. If you're in the Bs, it means you do your job as a host, and anyone in C's and below needs to work on it basically. And I'm definitely putting myself there. I do not know how to handle mod errors well at all. Alright. Next we have Shittown. Oh my god. XX6 and VFM63. You did not even know how to host your own setup. Shit. Come on, man. And you had a lot of incorrect vote counts. I'm just gonna leave it there. Dota. Alright, let's see. 2 games. XX2 and what was the other one? Oh, SFM level up. SFM 63. Alright. Balance in those games were fine actually. It's a shame that both games were disasters in terms of like what happened. The first game you hosted was inactive as heck, and the second game someone did a good. Someone just blew up the game. Let's just put it that way. So I can't. I can't rate you much on it. There's not enough info. You haven't hosted a proper game for me to critically judge you on. Who's next? XC Easy? Is it just Easy Loots? Or was it XC Loots? Well, let's just say Easy Loots for now. Wow, you actually hosted a lot of games. XS5, SFM 70, and a VFM 69. Haha, nice. You do your job. The flavor's nice. Solid B. From memory, you didn't. Oh yeah, there was the History in the Making one was the only one which has flavor in it, and it was a. I don't even know what the flavor is actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. All right, next, who do we have? We have Lemon. Oh my god, Lemon, you have hosted a shit ton of games. You hosted 2 games, a couple of SFMs, a couple of VFMs as well. Oh my god. Alright, so you don't even use the vote count tags, which is, I don't understand why, you just don't like it or something, sure. Uh, there isn't much flavor in your games, so I can't judge you on that aspect. Yeah, so essentially if you want to be in A plus tier, you need to integrate flavor well and act as a host, be enjoyable to play in. Let's see what else is there. What else can I rate you on? The game setups are pretty nice. The game setups are really good. The VFMs that you've hosted are pretty well balanced, except for that one which I won in, the even odds one, VFM 73. That was just god awful, man. Like, why would you ever host a 9p 3 scum setup, man? That's just horrible. Either way, I'd still put you up at a solid B tier, maybe higher than chemist even because you're not such a Nazi about it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can only put you up here. There's nothing else much to go from. Oh, you did let me post hentai in your Discord server, so I guess maybe that's a small plus. Alright, let's see what else is next. Rick Daly. Alright, Rick hosted a couple of games, 2 Paranoia SFMs, and a Bayonetta SFM. Easily S tier with the amount of flavor and effort put into all 3 games. Each start of day and end of day, so much effort was put into it to try and make an enjoyable experience. The roll card design as well. Apparently there's a lot of Photoshop to do with those roll cards, so easily up there S tier. He does his job, no flaws. The only flaw maybe was the one which I had, which was me being a bad player, but I can't really make any arguments for. Easily S tier. Next, we have Ryan. Well, Ryan. You've hosted a couple games. You have some decent flavor. You do your job as a mod. You did have a few mod errors though. I swear to God, every time you host a game, you always make a mod error with the first lynch or something, you know? Ah, because of that, I can only put you at the lowest of A tier. Alright, Uze LT has only hosted 2 games from what I see. Both of them follow the cop or not setups. You do have a lot of replacements in your games. You do your job as a host. You don't do enough vote counts, however, and sometimes it gets a little annoying. There's no flavor in it, so no. Oh, what? There was one, but you didn't even follow through with it, so I can't really push much of it. Yeah, that's about it. All right, next we have Talk. My bias. This is my bias. He has hosted only 2 games. Both of them are anime flavored. Well, one of them was a waifu you picked. Well, 2 games from my time here. All of these is from my own experience. The 2 games which you've played is the waifu you pick and Stray Dogs. Stray Dogs was a lot of old madness. Let's just put it that way. A multi-ball 21 player game. It is one of the best games to play in. Honestly, it's yeah. Let's just leave it at that. I like he just does his job as a host. Like the game setups are amazing. Experience is fun to play in. Yeah. Next, Anus. Alright, you've actually hosted a lot of standards. They've all been C9 setups. Nice. You do oversee as well, but I'm not counting those. I'm only counting those which you actually host. Yeah, just a lot of it's just the C9 setup 3 times. What the hell? Well, let's just say setup is balanced, so that's right. You're, you don't allow night skips, so can't put you up there. Like every host literally allows the night skips except you for some reason. You do your job as a host, so yeah. But like because of actually it's a little bit better than these two. But you just don't allow hosts. You don't allow night skipping, like why? Alright. Last one, ZSS. He's hosted a couple games from memory. He hosted the first standard, which I returned in, and the flavor was literally exam period, which is pretty hilarious. I feel like that'd be pretty hard to integrate flavor for. The Higurashi VFM was wait, no, not enough. Oh my god, I can't reset it. Anyways, where was I? I lost my track of thought. Fuck. Oh yeah, the Higurashi VFM was well integrated with flavor. The setup was a Matrix 12, which is well actually pretty balanced. It is like copied, so 0 points of originality. Probably A tier as well because of because of the flavor integration. The setups are fine. Yeah, and yeah, that's my tier list as of now. I think all of them are pretty fine. Like they all make sense in their respective tiers. Yeah. What do you if you got you got this is like what this is just completely my own opinion, however. So some of them you may agree, for instance, like for some reason Rabbit is the worst host ever because he has too much roles. You think maybe like I don't know, Varuna should be at the top because he is the head lead FM mod, but from my experience, FM mod he doesn't have much else going for it. He does his job, but like he doesn't push like outside those boundaries, so to speak. You know, like strive further than what a host should do. You know. So yeah, thank you for taking time to watch me rank these ToSFM hosts, and yeah.